Well, match week 4 concludes with the Manchester Derby. Manchester United are hosted by their Derby rivals. A lot of talk about pressure on Ruben Amorim, but Pep Guardiola has lost back-to-back games in the 3 Premier League games so far, so the pressure will firmly be on Manchester City today. Well, both teams have picked up just a solitary victory in the season so far, as we're off and running at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester United have kept their stable backline of Lenny Yoro, Luke Shaw and Matthijs de Ligt with Alte Bayender in goal. And City already on the chance there. And Erling Haaland with a snapshot, 20 seconds on the clock. Well, how about that for a start? Immediately taking things into his own hands there. I think it was Mazraoui who just loses the attention on that occasion. And Bayender is happy to see that just skate away from the post. Now, we talked about Manchester United's backline. They did concede twice at home against Burnley. Conceded that goal against Emil Smith-Rowe of Fulham. And then, of course, that Martin Zubimendi goal in opening day fixture. So United yet to keep a clean sheet here. Not an easy place to come out here and try and stamp that defensive authority, because Manchester City, as I mentioned before, well, they have not got their season up and running so far. It's been start-stop to say the very least. Having won 4-0 against Wolves at the Molineux Stadium, there was a lot of premature talk that, Manchester City might just be back. They have all the quality, and Rodri's back in their side too, so you can understand as to why Manchester City fans might have been quietly optimistic. But those back-to-back defeats, the one at home to Thomas Frank Spurs and then Brighton with a come-from-behind victory at the Amex Stadium, Manchester City heading into the derby in the worst possible form here. But as they mentioned, that form often goes out the window here. Might be offside there, surely. Well, Manchester City have made changes. Jeremy Doku on the left, Phil Foden on the right, Tijani Reinders, Bernardo Silva and Rodri as the midfield three for Erling Haaland up top. They've got Kusanov, they've got Ruben Diaz and Josko Guardiola as the 3 centre-halves, with O'Reilly going to be shifting into that midfield area from left back. They've got pace in the back line. Ruben Diaz does struggle a little bit, but then in Kusanov and Josko Guardiola, they've got 2 real athletes in the back line here. Here's Dogu. Surely might be a foul there. It seems that Anthony Taylor has gotten the prime fixture of match week 4. It's been a bit of a slow burn, hasn't it? And you expect that after the international break, teams just getting their players back together, not enough time to train. Games come thick and fast. Saw that with Chelsea yesterday. Should have been home and dry somehow, despite not playing well. And that's what champions do, don't they? I mean, that's what we saw with Liverpool. They were nowhere near their best. And that could be argued throughout this season. But they're still 4 wins in 4. And they've set the Premier League pace here early on. Here's Ugarte. Well, his inclusion has been a bit of a surprise there, but he's costed £60 million. I mean, at some point you have to use that. It's a good spread out there by Fernandes on the right-hand side. Runs are being made by Mazraoui. Here's Mbuemo. He's lost out on the challenge. Here's Benjamin Sesko. Sesko with the strike. Oh, Donnarumma with the save. Well, the 2 new summer signings, Benjamin Sesko on his weaker left foot as well, generating a lot of power there. It's pressure situation for Sesko because he finds himself having his first start in the Premier League, and it comes at the home of the rivals. I mean, it's not an easy task here as O'Reilly gives the ball away. Good start here by United as Mazraoui delivers. Donnarumma punches clear. Well, Donnarumma has been heavily involved in the play already. Here's Erling Haaland. Phil Foden picks his head up, and Jeremy Doku's on his bike here, but good run there by Lenny Yoro. Watched him all the way there. Lenny Yoro has been outstanding for Manchester United. I mean, that's got to be said in the manner in which they really do. They've come under a lot of scrutiny, haven't they, Manchester United, for their recruitment and how the players have ended up performing for them. But Lenny Yoro is an undeniable talent. I mean, for Manchester United, there's a reason why he was primed to go to Real Madrid. Manchester United were willing to pay that 60 million euros, and they snapped him up from Lille. He's made that right-hand side centre-half position his own, but he's very much capable of playing on any of the sides. He can play as that left centre back. He can play as a centre back too. So quality player. Here's De Ligt. Kusanov's header with Nunez on that right-hand side. Matheus Nunes has now become Manchester City's first choice right back despite being bought for that midfield position. Never really solidified it, but you get strange ways to play, don't you, as Kusanov on the right-hand side will be providing that pace when they don't have the ball. It allows Manchester City to just push their line up. You can get the likes of Rodri, Bernardo Silva and Tijani Reinders all in those clever pockets to play around Manchester United's midfield too, because they have a midfield advantage, and if O'Reilly shifts into the midfield as well, it becomes 4v2 in that position. So Manchester United have to be careful they don't get swamped. Here's Binder. There's a lot of talk about the new keeper from Royal Antwerp, and that is a very risky pass, but De Ligt has done very well, and that ends up in a good break here, and Mbeumo can't capitalize on it. That's a very poor pass. I think that's Ahmad, who's not just delayed the pass, but doesn't hit it accurately. Manchester United are happy to play on the break here, and they might have to do that for the large majority of the games here. Manchester United, that win against Burnley was much needed, wasn't it? I mean, I really do feel for Burnley. I mean, they played really well against Manchester United and Liverpool, and they've come out with 0 points because of terrible decision making from their own players in the box. I mean, what do you do if you're Scott Parker, isn't it? I mean, you've worked so hard to get at least a point in tough opposition, and your players go out and do that. I mean, it really is a gut punch for Scott Parker and Burnley. And that's why Liverpool, who keep going till the very end, have gotten... another heavy touch. Binder has made such a mess, man. I mean, this has been the worst possible start for Alte Binder. It was his heavy pass to De Ligt, who somehow managed in the previous attack. This time, he's taking far too long, especially with someone like Erling Haaland breathing down your neck. Why would you do that? Here's Lenny Yoro. It just takes the confidence off your goalkeeper, doesn't it? I mean, when he does foolishness like that. Good first touch there. Dogu tries to win it, but the touch is very heavy. Bernardo Silva might have been playing as a number 10, but he's found himself in the central area. But here's Benjamin Šeško. Looks for the clever reverse pass. Manchester City look to play out the press, and they've done so very well. And Phil Foden finds Tijani Reinders. That's a terrible pass. Well, he identified the quick pass there onto the left-hand side for Jeremy Doku, but he does not hit that with any sort of composure. Well, Tijani Reinders, someone moved from AC Milan, started with what was one of the best debuts that you have seen in modern Premier League times. A goal and 2 assists at Molineux. Since then, he's found it a bit difficult understanding what the rigors of the Premier League are. That's a clever flick there. And here's Mbeumo. He's got runners. The pass doesn't find Ahmad. Then Donnarumma gets there first. City not very solid at the back here. They're leaving gaps. Manchester United have pace in counter-attack, so that will help them. The likes of Ahmad, Mbeumo and Benjamin Šeško are a formidable front three. Cost nearly £200 million this summer. The massive investment made by Manchester United after finishing 15th last season. That's a heavy foul there, surely, by O'Reilly on Mazraoui. And Mazraoui adds a lot of composure on that right-hand side, doesn't he? Every time he plays, he takes care of the ball very well. He's positionally disciplined. He's a shrewd acquisition for about £13 million from Bayern Munich. Speaking about shrewd acquisitions, in the game yesterday I was watching between Arsenal and Nottingham Forest, Christian Mosquera for 10 or 12 million pounds is an absolute steal. I mean, somebody at Valencia needs to get sacked for that. That's surely a foul. I think it is. Bernardo Silva just loses control of the ball, and you see Jeremy Dogu just pinched it and he was looking to run. Benjamin Šeško starts off with the header, but Bernardo Silva has control of the ball and then loses control and then has to haul down Jeremy Dogu. And now Patrick Dogu rather, and now it's a free kick for Manchester United. Amram's arguing that might have been a yellow card, but it's a set-piece situation here for Manchester United. How does Bryan Mbeumo float this one, and does he look to just curl that into the area between the back line and the goalkeeper? Need to try and test Donnarumma as much as possible. 10 minutes on the clock here. It's been an even start for both teams. Manchester United had a couple of pops at Donnarumma early on. Here's Mbeumo with the ball in. The flicked on header doesn't get anywhere near it, and now Manchester City can break. Phil Foden with an expansive ball, and it turns out to be a brilliant one. And Bernardo Silva, well, the Bernardo Silva of old might have just controlled and ran with it, but Manuel Ugarte does well. Had to follow the Portuguese, and he'll have to do a lot of that actually, because Bernardo Silva will pick up all sorts of position on the pitch. So for Ugarte, as soon as Bernardo Silva approaches Manchester United half, that's where he has to be switched on, because he's not going to get too much help from Bruno Fernandes in that department. That's when you need your centre halves to really push out and almost add like an auxiliary midfielder. Here's Kusanov. Oh, it's a bit of a heavy touch there. Good pressure applied there from Bryan Mbeumo, who's on the left-hand side now, which means Ahmad is now on the right. That swap will continue to happen throughout the game. Phil Foden getting a start in the Manchester derby. Has not started the season whatsoever. It's his first start, really. Hasn't really been able to cement a position, hasn't he? It looks like it's going to be in the central areas, and Bernardo Silva is going to be on the right. Foden operating as the number 10. Here's O'Reilly, Rodri. Here's Josko Guardiol. Guardiol's first start, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Mightily impressive Croatian. I mean, what a player he is. He does unlock that left-hand side for Manchester City and Pep Guardiola. Here's Rodri. O'Reilly picking up advanced positions in that left half-hand left space. Here's Ruben Diaz. And Manchester United in the deep block here. Back three now becoming a back five, with Mazraoui keeping a close eye on Jeremy Doku. The space is out on the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. Patrick Dogu keeping a close eye on him. Here's Kusanov. Well, the centre halves playing in the Manchester United half. Everyone apart from Gigi Donnarumma. Well, it's a clever touch there. Oh, there was another strange pass there from Tijani Reinders. Well, this time on his left foot. He's getting into good positions, but his passing has been, well, less said the better. Clever first touch there by Phil Foden, just a touch around the corner. You can see what Reinders is trying to do there. Just feed that to Doku early. His accuracy has been nowhere near, eh? For Manchester United, early part of the game being ticked off here, making sure that they don't concede the early goal. And that front three of Amad Diallo, Benjamin Šeško and Bryan Mbeumo will take time to gel. Of course, they do have Mateus Cunha, who's not fit for the next couple of weeks at least. So is Mason Mount. So Manchester United going through their tricky run of fixtures without some key attackers. United doesn't get easy, does it? From Manchester United's point of view, they play City away and then they host Chelsea at home. That is not going to be easy for Ruben Amorim. He'll be hoping for at least 4 out of 6 points there. 2 minimum, but a loss here puts all the pressure on that Chelsea game for them. Oh, it's a heavy touch there by Doku. Jeremy Doku is now starting a lot more games consistently for Pep Guardiola. He is an option off the bench. He does make things difficult for opposition fullbacks, especially having played 70 minutes. You have someone like Jeremy Doku running at you for the last 20. It could be really tough situations. That's a very clever pass, and Donnarumma sweeps out. A lot of question marks have been asked about Gigi Donnarumma's transfer to Manchester City. Not the kind of Pep Guardiola goalkeeper, but I think Pep has realized that he needs an elite shot stopper. And that's what he has in Donnarumma. Donnarumma's no mug. He can play passes. I mean, he used to play for PSG. It was a strange move there from Luis Enrique and PSG having to get rid of Gigi Donnarumma. Only 26 years of age. He's been in the game for an eternity, what feels like. I think he started as a 16-year-old when he was in Milan, wasn't he? 10 years in top flight football and you're only 26. Brilliant. Okay, clever pass into the pocket. Oh, he's been wiped there by De Ligt. De Ligt has just waved away the challenge. Phil Foden cannot believe it. Forceful play there by Matthijs De Ligt. Knows that every time Phil Foden has the ball, he has to make sure that Foden doesn't turn. When he does turn, well, Foden doesn't have control of the ball. That's why that was waved away. De Ligt might have just shimmied across, but this waved is okay by Anthony Taylor. Hasn't had too much to do, the referee. Here's to Gianni Reinders. Almost gets a fortunate break, but Lenny Yoro strong. Again, they're just trying to fire those long balls to Seshko Ande. Every opportunity they get. He's 6'5". His hold-up play is excellent, and that will be tested. Oh, Rodri with a strange touch, and now United can break here. Here's Bruno Fernandes, finds Patrick Dogu on the left-hand side. Clip pass towards the right-hand side, and Ahmad tries the spectacular. Doesn't come up. Bruno Fernandes' knockdown header. City clear. Ahmad Diallo trying the acrobatic and the heroic. Oh, that's a foul there by Mazraoui on Jeremy Doku. That Doku turn really is a trademark, isn't he? He goes the left and then shimmies right so quickly. Mazraoui has to be careful. He'll get away with that one because that was in his own half. And that chance for Manchester United coming from Rodri's, what do you say, uncharacteristic mistake, really. Good pick out there from Dogu. He's just floated that into the box. Now, can Ahmad try and chest this one down? Instead, he decides to go for the acrobatic scissor kick. City haven't really gotten going, have they? They've been patient. They've been calm. Erling Haaland has barely had a touch of the ball. Here's Phil Foden now. Look at Bernardo Silva. He's got acres of space. Dogu doesn't read that. Here's Bernardo Silva now. He doesn't have the pace and the old agility of Bernardo Silva of old to really wriggle away from fullbacks anymore. He's such a clever player, though. Here's Doku in a central position. Oh, clever feed. Oh, Jeremy Doku's run brilliantly. Take a shot, Doku. Instead, the header! And Manchester City have the lead, and it's Phil Foden. A touch of fortune attached to it, but Jeremy Doku has to take so much credit for that play on the right-hand side. Electric bit of footwork to create separation. Goes for the cutback, gets fortunate to just feed the ball into the box again. And Phil Foden is on hand and is rewarded with his first start with a goal in the derby. Well, that's a clever cushion header there by Phil Foden. Again, it's patient from City in the build-up here. And now Doku has the ball between the lines. And then that electricity causes all sorts of panic. Doku does so well to readjust and put that pass on a plate for Phil Foden. It's right on his head. All he has to do is guide that into the corner. Alte Bayern, full stretch. Can't get anywhere near it, but Jeremy Doku, my goodness me. He's almost making a case as to he should be playing in the central areas more than on the wide side. I mean, he does beat a man, but when he's on the wings, there's always cover in those central areas. When he's able to do something like that, I mean, that is scary for a defender. You can't stick a leg out, which Matthijs de Ligt tried to do that, but he was getting nowhere near the Belgian. Well, now Manchester United have to come out and play. Here's Ahmad on the left-hand side. Heavy touch. Oh, Phil Foden with a nasty swipe. Gets away with it. Might have been a foul. Well, Phil Foden is certainly fired up in the early stages, and that goal would have certainly lit the fuse. He's having words with everybody on the Manchester United side. Bruno Fernandes, and with the captain's armband, has come under a bit of criticism because that 90 million offer was on the table from Saudi. It wasn't taken. He's ended up playing in the midfield pivot, which doesn't really suit his game. So it's kind of shoehorning your captain into a position. Well, the City fans will be rocking, but they'll have to be wary because similar position against Brighton. Brighton are a much better technically secure team. That's good strength there by Haaland. Gets away from Luke Shaw. Haaland again. Luke Shaw makes sure that he gets the interception. I think that stat was said at kickoff, wasn't it? Luke Shaw started more games this season than he did in the entirety of last season. 20 minutes on the clock. Manchester City, on the balance of play, I would say just about deserve the lead. United are yet to really stitch passes in the final third. What a touch that is from Rodri. Brilliant. Here's Foden to Bernardo Silva. Oh, Patrick Dogu has to be careful. Manchester United swarming the City captain. Oh, Fernandez's touch gets away from him. City are just starting to put the squeeze on United as the rain pours down at the Etihad Stadium here in Manchester City. As Kusanov, you can see he's been very comfortable in those forward areas. Doesn't mind because he knows that he's got that recovery pace. It allows him and the team to push their line up. Safety first approach there by Luke Shaw. Nearly halfway point of the first half. Manchester United, decent start to the game. Haven't been threatened too much. Haaland has been kept under wraps. But City do have the lead. Reinders with the cushion header. Ugarte nearly loses the ball out. Here's Foden. Again, good feet in the tight area. And Dogu has to make the sliding challenge. Well, United have to be careful here because they'll want to try and get that equalizer before half time. But if Manchester City are to get the second goal, it could be a very long evening for them. Kusanov's throw. Haaland's first touch is good, but he's been swarmed. And, well, Matthijs de Ligt had to be more than touch tight there. They concede the corner. City very much on the front foot since scoring. Trying to get the ball to Haaland as much as possible. Well, City very much up for this game and fully expected them to be so. Few changes in the squad. Donnarumma in goal. Guardiola getting his first start. So did Phil Foden. They've got Haaland, Diaz and Josko Guardiola, all absolute monsters in the air, looking to attack this Phil Foden corner. Good ball in. Oh, the flick on is there. Good defending there from Manchester United. Bernardo Silva decides to go all the way back to Gigi Donnarumma. Here's Silva. Goes back to Kusanov. The back three of Manchester City with Josko Guardiola, Ruben Diaz and Abdulkader Kusanov. Got a good mix, haven't they, of physicality, good 1v1 defending. Here's Rodri again, just gets into the base of the team and makes things tick so nicely there. Lovely pass onto the left-hand side to Nico O'Reilly. Here's Jeremy Doku, now finds himself on the left-hand side here, up against... Oh, it's a good bit of skill there and a snapshot. First time effort by Tijani Reinders. Straight at Binder. Well, Tijani Reinders is getting into good positions. This is good play again from Jeremy Doku. The pick out is right onto the right boot of Tijani Reinders. Doesn't have time to really do too much, but just get that on target. It's straight at Binder. Another shot on target here for Manchester City. Now looking a lot more comfortable. Ominous signs for Manchester United because that front three are yet to really touch the ball since Manchester City scored the goal. Here's Josko Guardiola. Rodri. And United are not really in that deep block, but they are playing with a back five without the ball. So even with that back five, it's not very... It's a bit half and half. You can see Bernardo Silva on that right-hand side. He's got acres of space, and it's not the first time. So they're not really playing with that back five either. It's a compact back five. It's a risky strategy. That's something that Pep Guardiola can look to try and exploit with the change. I know that Marmoush is not fit. Bernardo Silva doesn't have the pace. It's almost like Patrick Dogu is happy to give him that bit of space so that he knows that he won't be able to run in with real purpose. Here's Donnarumma. Ugarte wins the header. So does Bruno Fernandes. Oh, what a touch that is by Erling Haaland. And Haaland and City are through here. It's 4v3. Haaland finds Bernardo Silva. First time ball. Erling Haaland's touch is heavy. And Lenny Yoro. Interception is good enough for Mazraoui to clear that away. Well, City on the counter-attack looked really threatening there. Erling Haaland's first touch here is brilliant. Look at this. Around the corner. Absolutely leaves Lenny Yoro. And now City are in business. Bernardo Silva fires the ball to Erling Haaland. That's a interesting choice of pass there by Bernardo Silva. It's happening in counter-attack speed, so there's not much time really to process. It's almost on instinct. Because you know that Haaland is going to have to do so well to not just control it, but get a shot away from that tight area with the ball being fizzed in. Well, that battle has been quite prominent in the early stages. Bernardo Silva versus Patrick Dogu. 26 minutes on the clock. City, courtesy of the Phil Foden goal, looking for their second victory. Good touch there. Again, it's strong play there by Tijani Reinders. Haaland's first touch, again, immaculate. Foden with the switch out. It's so unnecessary there by Foden. I mean, yes, he's full of confidence. He has to take better care of the pass. Haaland's first touch, again, is sumptuous, man. The way that he just controls it. He doesn't get too many touches, but when he does, you can see what he's all about. Šeško's had no joy whatsoever. Everybody's on him. He's got a real impressive vertical, so you have to make sure that you not just match him stride for stride, but also have to match his jump. You might get there first, but you have to make it as difficult as possible for Benjamin Šeško, who's 6'5" from Slovenia. City have had nearly 65% of the ball. It's an accurate statistic. That's a clever pass there by Fernandes to Brian Mbeumo. And Patrick Dogu has made the run. He's completely unmarked. Brian Mbeumo's ball on his right foot doesn't have the quality to find his man. United keep the attack going though. Here's Dogu. Luke Shaw. Here's Fernandes. Started with a few good passes in this match. Ugarte is keeping it simple. Lenny Yoro and Mbeumo. Mazraoui has made the run on the right-hand side for width. Clever pass, but it's been intercepted. And now City can break again. Haaland's first touch, immaculate as always. And here's Tijani Reinders. He doesn't have the run on the right-hand side. And this is where City's lack of balance, I would say, is going to hurt them. It's a good ball. He's onside too. And Mbeumo, oh, the right-footed shot is so wayward. Does the flag stay down here? Because if it does, it's a terrible miss by Brian Mbeumo. How's the pick out here? Ooh, he would have been just flagged offside. Guardiola has done just enough to step out. It's a risky game. And Mbeumo's first touch is brilliant. He's brought it down expertly onto his right foot. Doesn't have the assurity or the finish that he does on his left. Seems that is Manchester United's best course or best path to goal, really. Those long balls into the channel to get the likes of Ahmad and Mbeumo to chase after it. Nearly 30 minutes on the clock, United. Oh, again, good press applied. Rodri bails them out nicely there. Foden, O'Reilly. Here's Doku, who has come short here. Clever feet. Here's Rodri, who's again keeping things tidy in the midfield area. Here's Doku now. Doku with confidence is a scary player. Here's Kusanov. Ruben Diaz. Again, Diaz and Šeško haven't really had too many duels to really encounter so far. City's other defenders making sure that they're leaving a mark on the Slovenian too. Here's O'Reilly. Again, City very comfortable in the United half. United barely laying a glove on them here. Now the press being applied. City looking to play out of it. Good work there by Fernandez. That's the kind of work that you need to be putting. Oh, Foden with a heavy first touch. Šeško with a very clever back heel. City again win the ball in critical areas. Clever from Benjamin Šeško. Kusunov is, well, he's a dynamo, isn't he? He goes in, lunging in. Has very little care for his own safety. When you see some of his plays, he just goes in there with his pace and force. Wins the throw in there. Well, 30 minutes on the clock. Manchester City, courtesy of the Phil Foden goal, lead the derby here. Well, there's a slip there. It's a foul throw by Kusunov. Well, surely foul throw. The ball slipped out of his grasp, went out of play. Just over 30 minutes played here. Good first touch. Here's Lenny Yoro now. Just looking to shimmy across. Binder going long. It's a decent strategy because it's Šeško who manages to make that stick very well. Fernandez feeds Mazraoui on the right hand side. And Mbeumo has made the run. He's up against Guardiola. Not easy to wriggle past him. Forced to go backwards here. Fernandez and Mbeumo. Again, on his right foot again. Patrick Dogu's header. He tried to just cushion that back into the box. These are the kind of crosses that you want to try and find Benjamin Šeško with. Again, it's Mbeumo who's taking those final actions with his right foot rather than his left. Couple of crosses in the box. That shot that he took, all on his right foot. Makes you wonder that if he was on that left-hand side for this game, just for example, if he gets a bit of space like what Patrick Dogu has, if he could curl it some balls into the box for Šeško to attack. It's a strategy. Here's De Ligt now. Mazraoui. Again, it's a channel ball to Šeško. How's the first touch? It's very good. Oh, it's a chance. And Šeško, they've asked for the handball there. Every City player in unison appealing. Let's have a look. Again, it's a good curved run here by Benjamin Šeško. Well picked out. He's very much onside. Might have hit him on the chest, but it's a second action maybe that has hit him on the arm. I don't think there's too much wrong with that first touch. Because he's outstretched that hand, the second touch definitely has a handball to it, but the first touch, he stretched his arm out, but it's hit him pretty much on that deltoid region. Yeah, that's the best way you can describe that, as City get the free kick though. Again, Šeško showing off his athleticism. His first touch, his link-up play. Seen just glimpses of it so far. Another brilliant first touch there by Šeško. Oh, he's just hoofed that forward for Patrick Dogu. It's an interesting pass, but it's so difficult to bring under control because you know someone like Kusunov. It's a rash challenge by the Uzbekistan centre-back. It's a needless foul too. It's so hard for Dogu to bring this under control, and Kusunov with a clear foul. Kusunov not wasting any time. A bit rash, but that's what you get from a young centre-half like him. Joined in the January window from the Bundesliga. Since then, he's not really cemented his place in a Manchester City side, but that's, I think, not easy to do for any player. I think City have 3 or 4 players, I would say, as a pretty much lock. But other than that, Pep Guardiola is more than happy to rotate. He's got quality as well. But I looked at Pep's bench today, and that might be a bit of a problem if Manchester United can find their way back into this contest. United have Joshua Zirkzee and Kobbie Mainoo on the bench, as Bruno Fernandes readies himself for this free kick here. Edge of the box here. Fernandes goes for goal. It's a pathetic free kick, really. I mean, come on. That's such a waste. There's no... The fact that he's gone for goal from that angle, it's really shocking from the captain. And the foul has been given. Have to take care of the ball a lot better. I mean, you've got real attackers there. Sheshko's there. You got Lenny, Euro, Delict, all making their way into the box. Got to give them something to attack. Instead, you decide to go for goal yourself, and it's a tame effort too. Good pass between the lines there by Guardiola. Doku again dropping deep. That would be a good tactic for Manchester City if they can get Doku in those central areas, because United are a bit static in those areas, and if they can get someone with the electricity of Jeremy Doku to really run the game. Again, Rodri with a heavy touch, gets away from him, and Sheshko's clever pass doesn't really find Bryan Mbeumo. Here's Ruben Diaz. Well, just under 10 minutes plus stoppage time remain in the first half. Manchester City, I would say not coasting, but there and thereabouts. United have shown good fight, good heart. It's not the worst fixture, is it, for their point of view? I mean, you know about all the other teams who have really struggled past that international break. You want a game where your players will be up for it, alert, not, taking the eyes off the prize. Again, Sheshko, good first touch, but Ruben Diaz's defending is excellent. Well, as a touch-tight defender, he's just superb, isn't he? Again, Rodri's pass is very poor. It's happened on a few occasions here. Expect a lot better from Rodri. Here's Luke Shaw now. Patrick Dogu, who's been pretty industrious on that left-hand side. He's been up and down that touchline, helping out defensively, making runs into the boxes. Luke Shaw switches out an impeccable pass to Bryan Mbeumo. The first touch gets away. Riley defends well. And now Doku can run. Brilliant turn of pace and direction there from Jeremy Doku. But he's been surrounded by Manchester United players. And they win the ball back. Oh, Bryan Mbeumo has lost the ball here. Here's Rodri. He's got Reinders in support. Decides to thread the pass to Bernardo Silva instead. United do well. Again, O'Reilly is such a unit, isn't he? I mean, doesn't look too much in terms of that bulky and, stocky build, but really powerful, compact. Not easy to just, brush off someone like Bryan Mbeumo, who is explosive and powerful in his approach. Started the game well here, O'Reilly. City will be looking as a minimum 1-0 lead going into the halftime break. Another good first touch by Haaland. He's done that throughout the match here. Every time the ball has been given to him, he's made it stick and found a teammate. Here's Kusanov. Rodri, Kusanov again. City popping the ball around with relative ease in the United half. Here's Doku again in those central areas. This is where they have to be careful here, Manchester United. Again, he can run at the back of Bruno Fernandes to try and make that impact. Another beautiful switch out to Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. Dogu, good strength. Concedes the throw-in. And can City get a bit of pace down that right-hand side? It really would transform their game. Halftime, we'll just see their bench. We talked about the lack of real names for Manchester City. There's no Omar Marmoush, who would have been a good option for Manchester City. Here's Guardiola. Foden, Guardiola. Two players who have gotten their first start. That's much better there from Rodri. Between the lines to Reinders. On the left-hand side is Jeremy Doku. Haaland's in the box, but well marshalled by Delict. Here's Doku now, looking to make things happen on that left-hand side. Here's Reinders. Again, City just taking the pace out the game here. A heavy touch by Reinders, but does well to recover. Again, good first touch. O'Reilly on the right foot. Well, Nico O'Reilly has pretty much played everywhere on the pitch here. He's been one of City's excellent players. Look at him. Again, he's in that left 10 position. Good first touch. It's on his right foot, which is the only problem here. But if that through pass was for Haaland, could have been a whole lot different, because it was threaded through very nicely by Tijani Reinders. Well, United will be relatively pleased that it's still 1-0. Here's Ugarte. Lenny Euro. Good pass on the right hand side to Mazraoui. Quick scan there by Ugarte. Again, this is where Manchester United need to be a lot better on the ball here. When City retreat, which they don't really do very often, very strong play by O'Reilly again. It's just outstanding. He's been double teamed there, but he still manages to come on the right side too. It's just superb play from him. Nico O'Reilly has just been excellent. Again, Haaland's first touch. Beautiful. The header is excellent. Bernardo Silva needs to do a whole lot better. He's getting into good positions, but he's not able to, get away from the challenge. Excellent from Kusanov. City are very much up for this. Under 5 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Here's Phil Foden now. Space opening up. And now the pass to Jeremy Doku is not accurate. And that's the second time Phil Foden has not found Doku when Doku had an opportunity to run. That's poor from Phil Foden. And he gets a lot of plaudits. He will get it for the goal. But on those two occasions, one was that volley pass that he tried to attempt. And now this time, that has to be better. Especially there's no pressure on you. You know that Doku, if he can get a run at it, can make real damage happen. Has to take care of the ball better. Clever flick there by Ugarte. Šeško helping out in the build-up. Again, good first touch. Excellent strength and turn there from the Slovenian. Here's Mbuemo. And Ahmad has made the run. Good first touch, but goes away from goal. And Kusanov has to be careful. Has marked him so tight there. Here's Ugarte. Oh, somehow finds Luke Shaw. Here's Fernandes. Clip pass to Dogu. Luke Shaw. First time ball on his left foot. Again, it's nowhere near the head of Benjamin Šeško. I mean, what a waste. If you're trying to put the ball into the box, aim for your 6'5" centre forward. Doku helping out defensively. Surely a foul on him. Yes, it is. Anthony Taylor has had not too much to do in this match. That's a good thing. He's kept the game flowing though, as Jeremy Doku has been the main man in terms of the burst and the real quality in the box. So difficult to defend against. I mean, got past Luke Shaw like he wasn't even there. Just change of direction. Look at this. Just shimmy and shake. Oof. As much as you want to try and blame Luke Shaw there, but it is so hard to defend in those central areas. And then it fell that the way that he recovered Doku, I mean, that is the underrated part of the goal. He's not on his feet, but still manages to find an accurate pass to Phil Foden. But it's the World Cup here. Thomas Tuchel has an abundance of talent to pick from in those attacking three positions. 3 or 4, you would say. Well, Kane pretty much has his name on the team sheet. It's those 3 positions behind: Bellingham, Saka, Palmer, Rodgers, Anthony Gordon, Marcus Rashford. A lot of options for Tuchel in the summer. Here's Bernardo Silva. Phil Foden. Kusanov. Foden again. Now Foden looking to just add that element of quality just outside the box here. Kusanov. I think for Ruben Amorim, the disappointing part will be that they haven't tested Donnarumma since scoring a goal down. And that really has to change from their perspective. Here's Bruno Fernandes with another expansive ball. Beautiful switch out on the left-hand side. Dogu's first time ball in. Well blocked by Kusanov. Might have gone for a corner here. We'll just wait and see. Good defending once again by Abdulkadir Kusanov. I think it is a corner. Yep, Manchester United's first corner if I'm not mistaken. And it's taken 44 minutes for them to register that the quality of the set piece has to be better here. Again, Lenny Yoro, Matthias de Ligt, Benjamin Šeško. Options aplenty in the box. It's all about the delivery though. De Ligt is a monster in the air. Bruno Fernandes, captain's armband. Now looking to float this one into the box. Final minute of normal time in this first half. Bit of pushing and shoving in the box. Fully expect that. Anthony Taylor trying to relay his information. He's going to try and tell Kusanov to take it lightly, which he won't. Kusanov is very much a touch-tight defender. It's so risky. I mean, you're not looking at the ball. You've got both your arms wrapped around Matthijs de Ligt. You can see what Guardiola did there. It's a clever movement there by Guardiola because he just comes across, make sure that the contact is broken as soon as the ball is delivered. And good punch there by Donnarumma. Gets great distance on it. And he's 6'6". He's an absolute monster. We're into stoppage time in the first half. Oh, that might be a foul. Josko Guardiola with a bit of force. I don't think the referee has seen too much wrong with that. Patrick Dogu finds himself on the right-hand side. I don't think Guardiola has done too much wrong there. Patrick Dogu was already on his way down, but kind of just buys the free kick. It's clever. It's another opportunity. It's another set-piece opportunity for Manchester United. This time on the right-hand side with Brian Mbeumo's left-footed in-swinger to cause all sorts of problems here for Manchester City right at the stroke of the half-time whistle here. This could be a massive moment in the match. Again, the usual suspects all there in the box. I think they've left Manuel Ugarte free on his own at the edge of the box. We saw Martin Zubimendi score something similar as the ball into the box. Well defended by Erling Haaland. And that will be that for first half action. Phil Foden, the difference maker in the first half, giving Manchester City a 1-0 advantage heading into the half-time break. For Manchester United, Benjamin Šeško getting his first start for Manchester United has shown glimpses of what he's all about and why Manchester United paid that 70 million euros in the summer for his services. But it's half-time here at the Etihad Stadium. It's Manchester City 1, Man United 0. Well, Super Sunday here today, isn't it, with Liverpool getting the job done in the kickoff before this. 1-0 victory against Burnley. A last gasp Mo Salah penalty. The difference between the two teams. Burnley suffering two heartbreaking losses on either side of the international break to Manchester United and Liverpool in similar fashion. A needless penalty being conceded in stoppage time. Liverpool remain 4 wins out of 4. A perfect start to their title defense. But having seen 4 games of pretty much all the teams so far, and yep, Liverpool 4 wins in 4, 12 points. Isak yet to play. This is probably their worst phase and they're still picking up points. But the way that Arsenal have played, well, that has been very impressive. They're quietly getting their business done. They were very much forceful in the summer window. They were aggressive with their moves. They made sure they covered up their deficiencies in their squad depth region, and they've done exactly that. We saw the likes of Christian Mosquera just slot in for William Saliba, and does it look like Saliba has not played? Absolutely not. That's how good Mosquera is. They've got Piero Hincapié as that left-sided centre-back cover for if Gabriel gets injured, as Gabriel and Saliba are one of the best defensive partnership in the league, but they've made sure that they've reinforced that part of the pitch. And then you see the likes of Zubimendi, and on the right, Noni Madueke, Eze on the left, and then Gyökeres as the striker. And Gyökeres has scored 3 goals in 4 games. I mean, that's exactly what you wanted from your summer signing. Get the ball in the back of the net. Yes, he doesn't get involved in the build-up as much as maybe, say, Kai Havertz or Gabriel Jesus, but this man knows where the back of the net is. It's the old cliche, man. You just need someone there just to put the ball in the back of the net. The rest of the team is very much capable of playing the football, and let them do that, because Arsenal have got a good first 11, a very good bench, and they've got an excellent conveyor belt of academy talent coming through. We've not even seen the likes of Max Dorman yet, but you know that 15 years of age playing Premier League football, there's something very special about you. He'll slowly get into the Arsenal games, then the lineups, and you'll see him in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup games too. So exciting times for Arsenal, but they'll have to keep pace with Liverpool, because even though it's early days, it seems that it's going to be between Liverpool and Arsenal for the Premier League title this season. From a Chelsea point of view, I would look at 3rd place as an improvement. That summer window, as I said, we've done some excellent business in terms of getting João Pedro and Estevao in the starting 11, and even the likes of Andres Santos coming back from loan. But we really did that cutting edge, that marquee signee was missing in this window. Chelsea made a huge amount of money in sales, but they kind of balanced their books this summer, made sure that the net spend was positive with all the incoming breaches and charges coming up here for Chelsea. So it was a conservative window despite spending over 200 million. The likes of Jamie Gittins, Joao Pedro, Buonanotte coming on loan in the final day. He got a start against Brentford, which was interesting to see with Cole Palmer finally getting on the pitch. We didn't see him against Fulham and West Ham, with Chelsea won both games and scored goals, but he just shows you that when Chelsea have Cole Palmer in their starting 11, he is the game changer. He is the difference maker. His first time effort for that goal was brilliant. He should have scored before Caicedo did, but his movement in the box is elite. I mean, it's so good to see Cole Palmer back in, and after that injury, and with the likes of that combination with Estevao, Joao Pedro starting to come in, Chelsea with 2 wins and 2 draws have to make sure that they stay within touching distance of the top 2 teams. What I don't want to see heading into the next international break is us being about 5 or 6 points behind likes of Arsenal and Liverpool, and that's when it starts to get really concerning. Bit of good news for Newcastle, wasn't it, last time? Getting that goal courtesy of Nick Woltemade. Classic 6'5" centre forward header, wasn't it? It was a great header. Good floated in ball by, I think it was Jacob Murphy, who put the ball into the box. Newcastle getting a victory. I mean, they've played well for most of the season, but they haven't really picked up results, and that is something that Eddie Howe will want to change as quickly as possible. As it stands, Liverpool on top, Arsenal and Tottenham level with 9 points. Thomas Frank has done a stellar job since going there. I mean, he's got a bit of quality too in those forward areas. Yes, they've lost Maddison to that long-term injury, but they've got Javi Simmons, they've got Mohamed Kudus, and someone to combine with Richarlison, Matthias Tell, and William Odobert. So there's got a lot of options there for Thomas Frank. He's got a solid defense in Mickey van der Ven and Christian Romero. So good signs there. And what they did immediately was get a number 6 in João Palhinha. It was someone that Spurs were missing. Under Ange, you could see that. I mean, they were very expansive in their play style. So when you are that expansive, you want someone there to just make sure, as an insurance policy, isn't it? And he tried that with Pape Sarr or even Bissouma last season, but Spurs were far too open throughout the campaign last season. So Frank immediately goes and gets João Palhinha on loan. He's put him in that number 6 role. Despite not being the flashiest of players, João Palhinha is a very good acquisition by Tottenham Hotspur, and which is why they find themselves in third. And talking about good managers and good coaches, Andoni Iraola for Bournemouth. I mean, this guy, I have run out of superlatives for him. He is the next best thing. This is no hyperbole. I mean, he just needs a big move to solidify what we've been seeing. His team were ripped apart in the transfer window. Both his centre halves, one goes to Real Madrid, one goes to PSG in Huijsen and Zabarni. Then they get Milos Kerkez goes as the left back. They have had to completely rejig the entire back four, with even Kepa going to Arsenal, with the goalkeeper coming from Chelsea. Just shows you that despite their, you'd say, the lack of personnel, the way that they get stuff done. See the likes of Semenyo. I mean, he is just brilliant. Another player is just waiting to make that big move. Evan Nilsson is a quality number 9 from Brazil. They've got Brooks, Tavernier. They do mix things up nicely, and they've got a very good coach in Andoni Iraola. And for them to be fourth, I mean, yes, it's only 4 games in, and a point over Chelsea, it's still an excellent job. It just gives them a good base, because a lot of people might have thought that the likes of Brentford and Bournemouth, with their teams being ripped to shreds in terms of the transfer window, might have even focused on. But Bournemouth are such a good club, aren't they now? You don't really expect them to be anywhere near the relegation zone, but they have to make sure they keep Iraola for as long as possible. Everton in 6th. David Moyes has done more than just uplift that club. I mean, they've made them competitive again. It's like 2005, 2006 all over again. David Moyes is Everton in 6th position. Excellent. And I think their summer moves have been brilliant. Dewsbury Hall from Chelsea, smart acquisition. Jack Grealish, was that on? I think it's an initial loan, but that from their point of view was a no-brainer. And when you have someone like Njaya on the right-hand side, who's electric, the Senegalese international, they have a very good front three there, Everton. They just need someone in that centre-forward position to make sure that they get the regular supply of goals. As it stands, Manchester United in 12th, Man City in 9th with 6 points. Premier League table now just starting to take shape here. And you look at the teams that are likely to go down. Wolves. Again, Wolves, I like Vitor Pereira. He's a good coach, but they've had the worst possible start. I mean, when you lose 4 out of your 4 games, you've got 0 points. You're not keeping clean sheets. I mean, it's not going well. Aston Villa's start has been very concerning for Unai Emery. I did not like the moves they made in the summer window. Going for the likes of Jadon Sancho, Victor Lindelof. I mean, why are you shopping at Manchester United? You are trying to make moves to further yourself in Europe. You've seen the tail end of maybe Ollie Watkins. You've lost John Duran, Moussa Diaby. You've lost real pace and athleticism. And you need to try and fill that gap. You have Jacob Ramsey is a top player. It just feels that they could have done better in the summer window. They were hampered a little bit maybe by PSR, but they might find that difficult and they will drop. And it just almost feels like Aston Villa will have to rely on Europe and Unai Emery's pedigree in the European competitions to get them into those European spots next season. One team I fear for is West Ham, man. I mean, when things get bad for Graham Potter, it really does get bad. I've seen that firsthand when he was with Chelsea. I mean, he just feels like a deer in headlights when the camera does pan to him, and it's not all his fault. I mean, some of the recruitment has been shocking from their point of view. They've lost Mohamed Kudus to Spurs. They haven't really adequately replaced him. They've got Somerville. They've got Fulkrug. Is that a front three that really inspires confidence? I don't know. So I do have a bit of sympathy, but man, when it goes bad for Graham Potter, it really does go bad. And he is pretty much nailed on the first manager to get sacked. I would not be surprised. And it's a shame that it didn't work out for him at Chelsea. Looks like it's not working out for him in West Ham. Might need to take a bit of time off, maybe go outside of the Premier League to get his managerial chops back on, because he's a good progressive manager, but he does not help himself, does he, with some of the decisions that he makes in terms of personnel and tactics. Difficult times for West Ham. Never really got going. You almost felt that when they won the Conference League under David Moyes that they would push on to the next level. They wanted to have that progressive style. They were never really going to get that with David Moyes. They were a solid outfit, made it difficult to play them at the London Stadium. But when you make that philosophical change and it goes wrong, there's a huge amount of backlash that is possibly coming your way. For Manchester United, we'll just have a quick look at both benches. I know that Joshua Zirkzee and Kobbie Mainoo's on the bench. Don't see them as obvious replacements yet. For Manchester City, that right-hand side is ripe to attack. It's something that Pep Guardiola needs to try and exploit at some point. Maybe even get someone like Matheus Nunes, on that right-hand side. He's got that power, he's got the pace. Just makes a bit of difference, because I'm looking at their bench. They've got Oscar Bob and Savinho on the bench, both very much capable of playing on the right-hand side. And I think it is pretty much a no-brainer that he brings on someone like Savinho, because if Savinho gets that amount of space that Bernardo Silva received in that first half, it would be a completely different game, because Savinho is a much better 1v1 dribbler. He's direct, he's pacey, he can change directions. So is Oscar Bob, who may not have Savinho's pace, but his change of direction is excellent too. But I feel like a Bernardo Silva, Oscar Bob substitution is very much like for like, not just in terms of personnel, but even in terms of profile. And someone like Savinho changes that for Manchester City. Then they got the likes of Nico Gonzalez, Mukasa, Rico Lewis, Nathan Ake, and Matheus Nunes, and of course James Trafford in goal. Manchester United, of got a lot of defenders. My goodness. They've got Aiden Heaven, Leon, Maguire, Fredrickson, Casemiro, Kobe Menu, and Joshua Zirkzee. Not a lot of options on the bench for Manchester United. They are sorely missing someone like Mateus Cunha and even someone like Mason Mount if they could try and bring him off the bench. But Ruben Amorim will have to try and find solutions here if he is to try and pick up his second victory and do back-to-back victories at the Etihad Stadium. Remember, he moved from Sporting after beating Pep in the Champions League. I think it was a 4-1 victory in Portugal. Then he comes to Manchester United. Doesn't have the best start, but that biggest victory, and it's, what do you say, a branch for United fans to hold on to as to why Ruben Amorim should stay in the job, was one of that performances at Manchester City. This very ground where Amad Diallo scored in stoppage time, a late goal to steal all 3 points. They'll need something similar here, but they have to get that first goal as quickly as possible. And if Manchester City are to score the second, almost feels like game over. Any other obvious moves that you look for Manchester United? I don't see them making that change, as I mentioned before. Again, it's the profile, isn't it? Joshua Zirkzee might be able to come on as another number 10, give some support to Benjamin Šeško, try and play in the central areas. I think just to try, something different. You know that he's not going to change his shape. He's going to keep the 3-4-3, but can he just move those personnel around in the second half? Like I said, it's a bit outside of the box, but if you get Brian Mbeumo on that left-hand side as the wing-back, push him higher up the pitch, give City something to worry about, because Kusanov has had a pretty comfortable game because he's defending against Patrick Dogu and not someone like Brian Mbeumo. Then Brian Mbeumo can whip those balls into the box on his left foot, get Joshua Zirkzee into the team, and then you get someone with Joshua Zirkzee and Benjamin Šeško, who are both 6 foot plus, who can really hold up the play, and you suddenly have a lot more of a box threat, which Manchester United are just lacking. But Šeško looks that he's had some very decent first touches. 2 giant centre forwards in play. I thought Erling Haaland's first half, wouldn't talk too much about it because of the lack of touches that he gets. He might have had maybe 10 or 15 touches, but you just look at the way that his first touch is brilliant. The way that he gets around defenders is excellent. Just wonder that, can they keep feeding him as much as possible? Get him in and around the box. And Phil Foden, as it stands, is the difference maker. Got the goal, and City, no surprises that they don't make any changes. Don't think Manchester United have either. So both teams coming into the second half, as it was in terms of personnel, but it's Manchester City who have the lead courtesy of Phil Foden, and it's Manchester United trying to avoid their second defeat in 4 games here. Lost against Arsenal, losing to Manchester City. They would have said that these are tough games to begin with, and they have to play Chelsea next. So in terms of first 5 games, these are the hardest that Ruben Amorim could have imagined. But if you look at it positively, if you can get a few points, suddenly those tough fixtures are out of the way, and suddenly you can start looking to try and attack the rest of the fixtures as we're back underway for the start of the second half. Mbeumo goes all the way back to Binder as go long again. Saw that strategy from Manchester United in the first half where they know that they can go long to Šeško because he can keep hold of the ball. But it is a difficult strategy because you don't really have the consistency of having that play in the attacking third. It's almost like hoping that Šeško can bring the ball under control. He's got 3 or 4 players. It's a slice clearance finding Jeremy Doku. Good strength shown there. Mazraoui helping out. Joško Guardiol's channel ball is interesting, and Binder has stayed at home, and Lenny Yoro has to defend that, and he defends that brilliantly. Here's Mazraoui. Finds Mbuemo. Immediately looking to turn away from Nico O'Reilly, who was brilliant in the first half for Manchester City in all facets of the game. His passing, his tackling, his strength, his composure. Excellent debut. Ooh, that's a good pass there. United are in business in the box. Dogu's ball into the box is well defended. And the first minute of the second half, United come flying out the blocks. They committed 3 or 4 bodies into the box. Again, the space is on the left-hand side for Dogu, isn't it? This is where I talk about if they had someone like Brian Mbuemo on that left-hand side, it could really change the whole complexion of the match. It makes City a lot more fearful on that right-hand side, that's for sure. Corner for Manchester United. Good response here. Exactly what they were hoping for. Try and put the pressure on Manchester City early on. Donnarumma trying to push and shove and make his presence known. Good header again by Haaland. That's a second defensive header we've seen already in the match. And Erling Haaland is such a presence, not just in the opposition box, but also in his own. Here's Luke Shaw. They worked it well on the left-hand side here. Here's Patrick Dogu again, forced into the box. Good defending again. Foden's first touch is decent. Can he keep the ball in play? He does, but it's for Manchester United instead. Here's Fernandes outside of the boot pass. It's ambitious. It's a good pass, but just forces Brian Mbuemo. Here's Mazraoui. United have started well here. Fernandes, very good pass to Mazraoui. Can't get his bearings sorted. Mbuemo, Fernandes again. Clip ball in, easily defended. It's Haaland doing the defending here. Here's Bruno Fernandes dropping deep here, trying to influence the play with his range of passing. Big switch out there to Brian Mbuemo. Lovely first touch. Again, O'Reilly in position. He's got Jeremy Doku helping out defensively too. Again, O'Reilly very strong. Brilliant defending. Josko Guardiola makes sure that he was the insurance policy. It just comes across. Good defending. The left-hand side looks very solid for Manchester City with Josko Guardiola and Nico O'Reilly. Mazraoui getting a bit of a knock on that side of the face there. And Manchester City haven't really started this second half as well as they should have. Having gotten the lead and the territorial advantage, they've just allowed Manchester United back into this game. This is where United have to try and make sure that they take advantage of the good momentum on their side. Seems that De Ligt is defending the wide areas here. Luke Shaw completely losing out on that battle. He has to keep a closer eye on Jeremy Doku there, Luke Shaw. Can't allow or just pretty much delegate the duties to someone like Matthijs de Ligt. Again, you can see the City centre halves. They're keeping a close eye on Šeško, making sure that every time he's making a run anywhere, try and keep one centre half on him. From Šeško's point of view, almost have a pick your poison, isn't it? Which side do you have to go? Do you go with the physical Ruben Diaz? Do you go with the aggressive Abdulkadir Kusanov or Josko Guardiola, who's proficient in every area of the pitch? That's a lovely pass by Mbuemo on the left-hand side. Here's Dogu. Chops in on his right foot. Oh, it's an errant pass, but somehow finds Bruno Fernandes. Clever pass. Dogu again getting himself into advanced positions. Well, for Manchester United, the blueprint is there. It's that left-hand side for them. Patrick Dogu continues to get into those good positions. At some point, Amorim has to try and rectify and just make that personnel change. Nothing wrong with Dogu, but if you can get a bit of quality in those forward areas, suddenly find your way back into this contest. Oh, Bruno Fernandes' pass, not good whatsoever. Out for a goal kick and just takes the pressure off completely. Shake of the head from Ruben Amorim. Would have seen a bit of fight in the first 5 minutes of the second half. His team going out there, making sure that they're competing against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, who've had a half-time lead. But, as you mentioned before, just before the international break, they had the lead against Brighton, and that was overturned. Manchester United have to follow that blueprint. For Brighton on that occasion, they did use their bench. I remember Hertzler made a quadruple substitution, and all of them pretty much coming to the forefront for Brighton and Hove Albion. The likes of James Milner, Braha Gruder, who scored the winner, came off the bench. Bench is going to play a huge part for a lot of the teams. These long seasons, you know that the World Cup is coming to, a lot of international breaks. The games will keep coming thick and fast with all the competitions kicking in. The Champions League is back on. Chelsea have just a small matter of going to the Allianz Arena and play Bayern Munich. That is going to be a cracking game. I cannot wait for it. Cole Palmer, Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Joao Pedro, all on the European stage. The whole world watching. Brilliant again from O'Reilly. The nutmeg is excellent. Doku, here's Haaland. Can he get there first? Oh, it's brilliant. Erling Haaland pretty much puts the seal on the game. It all comes from the nutmeg from O'Reilly. And how about the threaded through pass to Erling Haaland, who's so strong. And once he gets there, shows the deftest of touches on his left foot to just lift that over by in there. City have the second. And this is dangerous territory here for Manchester United. Brilliant pass to find Erling Haaland, but Haaland had so much to do. But doesn't he do that expertly? The elite marksman that he is just continues that. Look at this for a nutmeg by O'Reilly. It's brilliant. Here's Foden. He picks his head up. So good by Doku, man. He pins Euro and then finds the through pass. Jeremy Doku has had two brilliant assists. Look at this from Doku. Holds off the challenge. Just slips that into the area. Luke Shaw cannot cope with the pace and power of Erling Haaland. And once he's there, the deftest of dinks past the Turkish keeper, and it's 2-0 to Manchester United City. United have a mountain to climb now. Pep Guardiola will, by the looks of it, not suffer 3 defeats on the bounce. Jeremy Doku with a brace of assists. Haaland getting his 3rd goal of the league season. And Ruben Amorim will be scratching his chin. This is where you talk about being proactive as a manager, isn't it? You can curse a lot of things, but when you see the game sensing, you see a bit of a shift, you have to try and address it. Try and give your team the best opportunity to try and win the game, get the goals. You see Sesko, Mbeumo and Ahmad, they've been a disjointed front three. A lot of quality, but they've not combined. They've not linked up. They've not fed each other. Need to find those one-touch passing, those touches around the corner, get that relationship going. Keep playing long balls to Šeško. I mean, he's going to have a long evening. Here's the very impressive O'Reilly. I mean, O'Reilly is making a case to just solidify that left-back spot. I mean, yes, there's no Iran Nuri because of injury, and they did spend money there. Oh, it's a risky pass there by Ugarte. When Matthijs de Ligt passes Aaron too, it's Haaland again. This could get even worse. It's Erling Haaland. It's a massive let-off there. Oh, the comedy continues. Bernardo Silva can't turn that in. That should have been 3. Manchester United, a master of their own downfall there. Haaland's delicate chip, not having enough for the back of the net. United get away with this one. It's suicide all over the pitch. Binder's pass is poor. So is Ugarte's and so is De Ligt. And just like that, Haaland gets there first. Oh, he's on the stretch. It's hit the inside of the post. That could have been that. That was wraps. United imploding there. That should have been the game. Reinders was celebrating prematurely. We all knew that the net was about to bulge. Pep was on the verge and then falls to his knees. It gives Manchester United a glimmer of hope, but that is all. Haaland should have made it 2 goals in 2 minutes. Well, United have to be careful here because City they're in the mood here and they could really inflict some punishment. It's all about what they can try and muster up. The forward link-up play has to be a lot better from Manchester United. They have not progressed the ball through the midfield. And they're happy to use the wide areas, almost bypassing the midfield area. Here's Mazraoui and Mbeumo. City back into their defensive shape. Here's Mazraoui on the right-hand side. O'Reilly helping out defensively. And Mbeumo. Fernandes. Dinked ball into the box. Easily headed away. Reinders finds Haaland. Another brilliant first touch by Erling Haaland. It's sensational from the Norwegian. And now Doku can carry and finds a through pass here for Haaland. Luke Shaw. Oh, he just about gets there. That was Manchester United hoping. All their prayers were on Luke Shaw there, somehow doing his defensive duties. City turn with real pace there. Doku has been electrifying. Here's Patrick Dogu now for Manchester United. Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes. Oh, again, the lackluster quality. It's just poor from him. And City play out the United press brilliantly. Oh, Foden's pass is poor. But from this point of view, it just feels like Manchester City are more likely to score the third than Manchester United are to score their first. United need to find a way here. And this is where I want to see Ruben Amorim use his bench. It's not worked. You're 2-0 down. You can blame all the forces that you want. Have they tested Donnarumma enough? We'll wait and see as Mazraoui is on the right-hand side. Ball into the box. They're just trying to almost pull and pray that they find Šeško in the box. Good work there by Šeško. Lenny Yoro helping out in the forward regions. And Mbeumo eased off the ball. Oh, that's a rash challenge there by Ugarte. He'll be very lucky to not get a yellow card. It's a foul on Tijani Reinders. Well, Reinders, Rodri and Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden all in those central pockets looking very comfortable for City. Look at this from Nico O'Reilly. That nutmeg on Ugarte was just special. It's a brilliant goal. Just well crafted. Excellent technicians on the same wavelength. Results in a goal. It looks like Donnarumma might start off his Manchester City life with a clean sheet. He's been very seldom threatened. Saw a couple of shots in the early stages. Since then, he's had very little to do. Here's Guardiola. Ruben Diaz. Reinders. To Kusanov. Everybody in the defensive third just getting a few touches here, trying to frustrate Manchester City. Good pass there by Donnarumma to O'Reilly. Cushion headers, excellent. City play out the press beautifully. Heavy pass there by Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly does look like a complete fullback, doesn't he? Very much. I think he's played in midfield for the City Academy. That's why you see that technical proficiency that he has and why Pep Guardiola rates him so highly. Here's Donnarumma. Heavy pass there by Ruben Diaz. Trying to find Kusanov. If you look at the balance-wise, I think this is the best back three that Man City could have. If you add Nico O'Reilly to it, you'll see that maybe someone like John Stones might improve them. Ryan Aït-Nouri is an option. Nathan Ake as well. I think in terms of balance, oh, that's a very risky touch there by Lenny Yoro. United somehow managed to find an accurate pass there. Dogu on the left-hand side finds Manuel Ugarte. Switches the play out to Mazraoui. Good pass there from the Uruguayan. Here's Mazraoui. Clever attempt. It's just outstanding defending from O'Reilly again. So composed. Can't put a price on composure. Here's Luke Shaw. Patrick Dogu Again on his right foot, swinging the ball in. Oh, what a save! Donnarumma's first big save comes off an Embuemo volley, which was destined for the bottom corner. He gets the bones off that one. What a strike that is from Embuemo. Oh, what a save by Donnarumma. That's what he's all about. Oh, that's brilliant. He could not have struck that any better, Brian Embuemo. City know that's a big save, and that's exactly why he was bought from the Parc des Princes to the Etihad Stadium, as Manchester United finally do blink and make the substitution. Well, the first one makes sense. The second substitution, less so, as Lenny Yoro comes off for Harry Maguire. And Nusayr Mazraoui makes way for Kobbie Mainoo. So we'll see whether or not it's just a change in personnel or is there a systemic shift. I think we might just see Kobbie Mainoo play as the number 10 and Ahmad play as the right wing back. We'll wait and see. But Maguire, immediate threat in the box. Oh, the header! It's a real pinball in the box, but City managed to clear. Here's Doku on the counter-attack. Good work there by Kobbie Mainoo. His first contribution. Wins the ball high at the pitch, but Patrick Dogu is well offside. What a waste for Manchester United. It's a brilliant pick out there by Patrick Dogu on his right foot to Brian Embuemo, who scored against Burnley. That was a straightforward goal. This one, he gets the technique perfect, but the save was even better. Oh, it's brilliant. That is outstanding football. Both teams. Well, Donnarumma getting his first big moment in a Manchester City jersey. It's a save in the derby. Keeps it at 2-0. Again, the double substitution is a curious one. Not in terms of the number of substitutions, but could he have brought on someone like Joshua Zirkzee? Doesn't seem to fancy him whatsoever. Doesn't want to change the front three, but Kobbie Mainoo, we'll wait and see whether or not where he is operating. Again, good strong play. Beautiful feed there by Bernardo Silva. Foden helps out. Rodri, Foden again. City popping the ball with just calmness and composure. O'Reilly. Doku. Good play there. Yep. I think looks like Amad Diallo has gone as wing back here. Again, City in business. Haaland's first touch, immaculate, allowing City to make moves into the United half. It's Haaland! It's straight at Binder. Haaland with the left-footed, just outside of his boot finish. All starts with Ruben Diaz's excellent slide challenge. And now City are in business. Good pick out here from Bernardo Silva. Yep, Haaland, instead of going with his right foot, used to just guide that with the outside of his left boot, but it was straight at Alte Binder. And since Erling Haaland has scored, he has had two chances to add the third here. United not looking as threatening as they are, but it looks like the change has been made in terms of Harry Maguire being the centre back and Matthijs de Ligt playing as the right-sided centre half. Luke Shaw remains as the left-sided centre back. Amad Diallo playing as the right wing back. Yep, looks like it's going to be that midfield three, or just Kobbie Mainoo playing as that auxiliary number 10, or pretty much allows Bruno Fernandes the license to move forward too and just drop Kobbie Mainoo in the midfield alongside Manuel Ugarte. Wait and see. There are options. Again, just want Amorim to be a little bit more bold. Bring on Joshua Zirkzee. Add that box presence. You literally have nothing to lose. Oh, that's a miscontrol there by Maguire. It's hit his hand. It's been waved off by the referee. He's very fortunate. Again, the long balls to Sesko. They just make no sense. Manchester United not taking care of the ball whatsoever. Oh, what a risky first touch that is from Luke Shaw. The United centre-halves. Just adding a bit of extra panic if that was not needed here, as Amad Diallo looking to drive. Oh, he loses the ball. And now City can move out of their own half. Here's Jeremy Doku. Oh, it's brilliant again from Doku. My goodness me, he's such a handful. Fair play to Matthijs de Ligt for trying to keep pace with him. Yeah, Doku knows that his jersey was tugged on, but Doku also should identify and realize that that's the only way to pretty much stop him. Have to get touch tight. You have to make sure that you're clever while defending Jeremy Doku. Again, another long ball. This is just poor play. It might fall to Ahmad Diallo, but that's out of luck rather than judgment. It does find Ahmad. Here's Diallo up against O'Reilly. Good defending. Mbuemo tries to go around the outside. Good strength again. Oh, it's brilliant defending by O'Reilly. Just eases himself. It's a shoulder-to-shoulder challenge on Mbuemo. Excellent defending. O'Reilly has really done his reputation a world of good here with the whole world watching. Excellent performance. And it just allows Pep Guardiola to ease Ryan Aït-Nouri back into the starting 11. Doesn't have to rush him back with the quality of O'Reilly here. City are looking comfortable. Bruno Fernandes, clip pass onto the left-hand side. Again, asking a lot out of Patrick Dogu. The back heel, but the defending by Kusunov. Kusunov's pace is a cheat code, man. It's brilliant. See centre-halves with that kind of pace. Can do so much as a team. Brilliant first touch by Doku. Again, I think, it's just a brilliant spin. A fair play again to De Ligt, man. Very strong. Wasn't going to fall for Doku's tricks. And Ahmad somehow onside. Here's Kobbie Mainoo. Ugarte. It looks like Bruno Fernandes is playing as the number 10. Luke Shaw with a heavy first touch. Oh, Harry Maguire's passes Erin, and he is onside here from his own half. Erling Haaland bearing down on goal. Erling Haaland, and it's 3-0. Game over. Manchester United are master of their own downfall. Haaland could have scored his second early on. Soon after scoring his first, Manchester United rode their luck on a couple of occasions, but Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire, an absolute calamity at the back. And once Haaland was through on goal, there was no doubt, was there? City, 3-0 to the good, 3 points on Derby Day. And it's back to the drawing board to Ruben Amorim. They're getting torn apart here. Oh, it's just so bad from Manchester United's point of view. Luke Shaw's heavy touch, Maguire's pass is poor, and Erling Haaland from his own half was onside. There was no chance for Binder. Opens his body up. Clever pass by Bernardo Silva, who's done his best impersonation as Kevin De Bruyne's passing. And then look at that for an assured side foot finish. And that change did not make sense. When you're 2-0 down, there's no reason to take off Lenny Yoro in terms of technical or tactical aspects, bringing on Harry Maguire for his aerial presence in the opposition half. But this is what happens. Maguire makes the mistake. City have 3, and they have all 3 points. It could get worse for Manchester United. Make no mistake about it. Erling Haaland is on a hat-trick. He already has scored a hat-trick in the Manchester derby before. He'll be thirsting for another one here. Well, I think Erling Haaland has had a 10-on-10 game. His involvement has been limited, but his first touch, his hold-up, his link-up play, his finishing, is elite. But this is the kind of Erling Haaland performance that reminds you why almost feels like Manchester City's season hinges on his and Rodri's fitness. Because if Haaland's there, you always have a chance. Here's Maguire. Again, such a strange move to sub out your centre half. Lenny Yoro was having a decent game. Try and bring on another attacker for a defender. He's done this. He does it time and time again. It's not a one-time thing. We've seen Harry Maguire being brought on, especially when Manchester United are chasing the game. So it's not a one-time thing. It's happened. It's more than a pattern. It's his tactic. And that's a concerning thing. If your tactic is to get your big centre-half to win headers in the opposition box when you're chasing the game, this shows you that you're running out of ideas. It's another long ball forward. Again, decent first touch to try and bring it down, but you're asking so much from Bruno Fernandes there. United just continue to just hit these long balls, which they have to build out in the midfield. You need someone like Kobbie Mainoo and Ugarte to just be a lot more closer, just link passes in the midfield area instead of just hitting these balls into the areas, just hoping that Šeško or Mbeumo can get to it. United can improve, and they should improve. I mean, there's so much quality that they have, but they do not play like the team like that. And the City fans are doing the Poznan in the background. They're having an absolute blast at the expense of their City rivals here. Stadium is shaking. It really is. Cameraman's just panning out. Everybody's catching on that the Poznan celebration is going on here. Manchester United able to turn here. Clever reverse pass. Again, the attempt has been snuffed out. Well, United, in trying to chase a goal here, will be open at the back. Kobbie Mainoo is playing on the right hand. I don't understand this. Now in the central areas. Yep, Bruno Fernandes is the auxiliary 10. Fernandes is his own box in his own half and now looking to turn. Again, he finds himself on the left-hand side. Here's Patrick Dogu. Clip ball into the box. Amad Diallo. Lovely first touch. Diallo strike. Well blocked there by O'Reilly again. What a performance from the youngster. Ugarte! It's well wide. Ball fell down nicely for Manuel Ugarte, but doesn't have the technique to try and find the top corner, to try and beat Gigi Donnarumma from there. Nice strike though. Good first touch there by Amad Diallo to just kill the ball dead. Patrick Dogu has done a lot of work down that left-hand side. For Manchester United, time running out here. Seems that substitutions have been made. He can still bring on Joshua Zirkzee, which he still hasn't done. And when you're Joshua Zirkzee, you look at Cunha's injured, Mount is injured, the three that are playing, the two that have come on. Looks like his number might be up at Manchester United. Again, Rodri's been in good positions, but his passing has not been his best, has it? Fernandes, though, wriggles away with the ball. On the right-hand side, here's Amad Diallo. It's a decent first touch. Strong play from Kobbie Mainoo. Good feet, but he's lost the ball. Here's Doku. Beautiful push and run there, but again, De Ligt. Excellent defending. De Ligt is not falling for the shimmies and the shakes of Jeremy Doku. Well, Phil Foden scored the opener. It's been the Erling Haaland show since then. 2 goals in the second half, and well, Haaland could have already had a hat-trick, couldn't he? 2 big chances. One hitting the inside of the post. One was straight at Binder, but when he was through on goal from the halfway line, there was just no doubt. Fernandez's ball easily intercepted. Kusanov's pace and slight challenge excellent. Here's Haaland driving with the ball. Through pass is brilliant. Tijani Reinders, again he's through on goal. It's Reinders, sits down the goalkeeper but can't find the back of the net. It's clever from Reinders. He sat him down nicely, but the finish, if it's the other way around, you expect it to be 4-0. What a pass this is by Erling Haaland. Oh, Maguire is nowhere near. Poor positioning from the centre half. And Reinders looking to just dig that over Binder to make it 4. Oh, it just curls away. Harry Maguire has been an absolute catastrophe in defence since coming on. 15 minutes remain of normal time. Josko Guardiola with a solid challenge. Pep Guardiola going a bit conservative now, getting Nico Gonzalez to come on. And Savinho. Well, Savinho will slot in on that right-hand side as Nico Gonzalez will come into the midfield area. I think Rodri might get the 15 minutes off. He does. Good call there by Pep Guardiola, protecting his main man. I think Bernardo Silva's evening might be coming to an end as well. But Rodri's had a good performance. Not the kind of passing accuracy that you expect of him, but again, it just shows you the linchpin that he is. When Rodri play, City win. Most of the times at least. And Jeremy Doku's coming off. Well, Doku with 2 assists. Excellent game from the Belgian. He'll be disappointed not to have completed the 90 minutes, but managers have to manage the minutes of the players coming off the international break with midweek Champions League action coming up. Savinho will slot in on the right-hand side for Manchester City as Nico Gonzalez takes Rodri's place. And after all that, there's a free kick for Manchester United. Deep in City's half though. Line is very high and Haaland didn't jump. He should have. It's well cleared though. Here's Fernandes again. Heavy first touch. Clips the ball into the box. Bryan Mbeumo trying to just get a bit of space. Haaland helps out defensively as well. I mean, this is the best Erling Haaland display that I've seen, man. Defensively, first touches, link-up play, finishing. This has been 10 out of 10 from Erling Haaland. And the only thing that's missing is the hat-trick. Decent ball between the lines here. Manchester United running out of time. Joshua Zirkzee is looking to come on here, and this is not the kind of substitution you make. I mean, it's 3-0 now. Now you're trying to impact the game with attacking substitutions. It's not the right call. When the game was there for the taking, where we could have maybe try and find a way back, you can try and bring on Joshua Zirkzee, but when you bring him down 3-0 down, what are you expecting? It's almost like pity minutes. 12 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Manchester United pretty blunt here. The only real chance that they've had was from that Bryan Mbeumo strike, which was very well saved by Gigi Donnarumma. Oh, lovely nutmeg there by Kobbie Mainoo. Beautiful play from the Englishman. And now looking for options on the left-hand side is Dogu. First time ball into the box. Brilliant defending again from Kusanov. Well, the spare man continues to be Patrick Dogu, but his quality is just lacking in the final third. This is where you want a bit more. Just imagine Bryan Mbeumo in those positions, wrapping those balls around with power and quality. Šeško has made the run, but gets no service. Double substitution being readied here by Ruben Amorim. Casemiro and Joshua Zirkzee coming on. Again, I don't really understand. He brought on Kobbie Mainoo and Maguire. It's like, okay, Mainoo makes sense. Maguire doesn't. Now he brings on Casemiro and Zirkzee. Zirkzee makes sense, but Casemiro doesn't. But then again, it's far too late. Ruben Amorim, you're a strange man. He has the ball into the box. Again, the quality just lacking. And Mbeumo with the right-footed volley. Well over. Well, not the intended target there by Patrick Dogu. It falls nicely onto the right foot of Bryan Mbeumo as the double change now with Manuel Ugarte and Benjamin Šeško both coming off. Šeško's had a tough evening up against 3 physical centre-halves as Joshua Zirkzee comes on for the final 10 minutes alongside the experienced Casemiro. Well, 10 minutes per stoppage time remain here for Manchester United to try and get a goal at least. It's been a right old spanking for Ruben Amorim. 1 win, 1 draw, 2 defeats. And if they lose to Chelsea, we'll talk about the pressure mounting on Ruben Amorim. Oh, it's a risky pass. Luke Shaw deals with it nicely. Here's Harry Maguire. Here's Casemiro, left-footed pass to Amad Diallo. Again, it's not crisp from Manchester United whatsoever, getting Casemiro to chase after it. 10 minutes remain here. Manchester City well on course for getting their second win of the season. But yet another clean sheet here. De Ligt's ball into the box. Again, they're putting balls into the box without now Benjamin Šeško. Lovely first touch there by Xerxes. Again, the double substitution had to be Xerxes and Menu. When the game was there, when it was available, and was a chance, you make that curious move and then you're in real trouble. Here's Ahmad and Mbeumo. City's defending have been excellent. And Mbeumo again, looking to just curl that. It was always going past the post. Donnarumma at full stretch. He's always going to get there. Brian Mbeumo's had quite a few shots here. He's been Manchester United's most potent attacking threat, but he's not had any support or company. Nice idea though by Mbeumo, just looking to fade that into the far corner. Eight minutes plus stoppage time remain here for Manchester City. Decent first touch. Oh, it's good work there by Savinho, but it finds Mbeumo, who is onside. And now Amad Diallo up against Nico O'Reilly. Excellent work by Savinho. Helps out defensively, but just gets shoved off the ball. Foden helps out defensively too. Everybody switched on here for Manchester City, looking to keep the clean sheet here. Haaland will be eyeing that hat-trick. Make no mistake about it. Bayinder's heavy first touch. Deals with it nicely. Luke Shaw takes an age. Trying to show composure here, Manchester United. Just feels far too late. Good header again by O'Reilly. I think O'Reilly, Doku, Haaland, these three would be my candidates of man of the match. Haaland will get it for the 2 goals. I think the 3, brilliant. Lovely switch out here. Here's Amad Diallo. Ahmad twisting and turning. Ahmad! Oh, it just hits Brian Mbeumo. He just fizzes that across the face of goal. Mbeumo just trying to adjust his feet. Doesn't have any time to react because of the pace at which it was just driven into the box by Amad Diallo. Good feet shown there. Oh, you can see there. And Mbeumo just has to open up his left boot. Instead, it's just hit him on his right foot. He just needs to just open that left foot up. And Manchester United have a goal, but it would be a mere consolation and nothing more. It'll be a corner though. Well, this is the tactic that Ruben Amorim was hoping for. The ball into the box for Maguire to attack. And Mbeumo will deliver this. Maguire has scored some crucial goals, that's for sure. And Mbeumo delivers. Donnarumma punches. Fernandes! Oh, there was a chance there for Casemiro, who would have been offside. At the far stake, completely unmarked. Fernandes' miscued shot nearly falling to Casemiro, who couldn't guide that on target. Good ball in here by Mbeumo, pushed away by Donnarumma. Oh, he wouldn't have been offside, you know. Oh, it's an open goal too. I think somebody is just playing him onside. It's a difficult one for Casemiro. It's hit him on the shin rather than the foot. Can't really guide that anywhere on target. There's Casemiro now. Picks his head up. Good switch out to Amad Diallo on the right-hand side. United looking a lot more threatening down the right-hand side, but feels a little too late as Menu's ball into the box, cleared away. It's Dogu on his right foot. Dogu strike. Does it take a deflection? Well, Patrick Dogu has got into those good positions time and time again, and fair play to him. His really understanding of the wing-back role has been excellent, but just doesn't have that attacking quality, really, does he? Good first touch on his right foot, slices that. Ruben Amorim just hoping to take a goal back here as the Manchester United fans make their way into the exits. Looks like it is game over for them. Their second defeat in 4 games. Tough start to the campaign as City bring on a bit of reinforcements here. Nathan Aki and Oscar Bob looking to come on. Casemiro, Fernandez, Menu. Menu eased off the ball. Oh, it's a good win there by Nico Gonzalez. Foden with the outside of the boot pass on the left-hand side to Savinho. Again, good running there from the Brazilian. De Ligt has defended 1v1 situations very well. Here's Josko Guardiola. Finds Kusanov. Onto the right-hand side is Bernardo Silva. I'm surprised that's Bernardo Silva. Still at this stage of his career. Still playing 90 minutes week in, week out. He's got the captain's armband. No surprises about that. But I think his race will be run, and it is. Oscar Bob will just slot in nicely onto that right-hand side. And Erling Haaland, ooh, he takes his leave here. I don't think he'll be too happy, but he can be happy about the way that he's gone about his business. He's got the 2 goals. He's got the 3 points. He put his feet up and enjoy. He's been fed on both occasions brilliantly. First by Jeremy Doku and then by Bernardo Silva. Erling Haaland at full flight is just a nightmare to stop. And when he's through on goal, composure. Well, he's back after the international break. Scored a bag full of goals on international duty. Silva and Haaland come off for Nathan Ake and Oscar Bob. Erling Haaland will be expected to start midweek. The Champions League campaign continues and resumes for all the teams again. Remember, Chelsea play Bayern Munich midweek. That'll be a brilliant clash, really. Manchester City host Napoli, the Italian champions. Ooh, Kevin De Bruyne back to his old stomping ground. That'll be an interesting game. As it stands, Manchester City are in 8th position. They're behind Sunderland. They've got 6 points. Their goal difference now a +4. Here's Matthijs de Ligt. Manchester City is looking to keep possession here. Again, Casemiro loses out. City looking for the 4th here. Here's Tijani Reinders, finds Oscar Bob. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes remain of normal time here. Here's Guardiola. Comfortable again, Manchester City just taking the sting out of the game. Manchester United's race has been well and truly run, but if they're not careful, they will concede another goal before the full-time whistle has been blown. Well, City fans have had an enjoyable evening here. Absolutely getting one over their City rivals in convincing fashion. Nonetheless, the pass for Amad Diallo just somehow gets there. United have never really threatened Donnarumma as much as they should have in the second half. One big save that he did pull off was of that Bryan Mbeumo volley, but other than that, I think City have defended very well. One of those men, Nico O'Reilly, right here, face to face with Amad Diallo. And City in their low block here. Here's Mbeumo. Ahmad. Sells O'Reilly and then fires another ball into his that right foot too. Here's Casemiro. Clever clip pass here. Scobby Menu. Well defended again by Manchester City. They are desperate for the clean sheet. Josko Guardiola helps out defensively. Well, it would have been a welcome sight for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City to see Josko Guardiola fit once again to take that left-hand side spot. 4 minutes of stoppage time has been added on here. Manchester United with yet another defeat under Ruben Amorim's belt here. Well, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is at the Etihad Stadium, getting a front row seat to seeing how far the City rivals are to his club here. Lovely play by Bob. And that's another threaded pass. Oh, there's a chance there. Tijani Reinders fires that across the face of goal. Reinders might have just looked to put the trigger on and decides to play the pass. It's unselfish from the Dutchman. Could have very easily gone for goal there, considering they were 3-0 up here. Again, good work here. Oscar Bob looks hungry and already trying to link up play. 3 minutes of stoppage time remain here. All smiles on the City dugout here. James Trafford having a bit of a laugh here with Erling Haaland. 30 touches, 2 goals, but 30 excellent touches throughout the match. Brilliant. That's the kind of centre-forward play, man. Here's Fernandes. And Buemo, clever flick here to Joshua Zirkzee. Zirkzee running at the City defence for the first time here. Thought about the shot. Good fake onto his right foot now. Finds Diallo. Menu has made the run. Amad Diallo delays far too long. It's Casemiro. It's taken a couple of nicks. And then he can just clear that away. Time running out here for Manchester United. Trying to get one goal at least for their travelling supporters. Here's Luke Shaw. Bruno Fernandes. 2 minutes remain here. Manchester United's captain floats the ball onto the right-hand side. Here's Amad Diallo. And Buemo. Fernandes again. Ball into the box to Patrick Dogu. Gets there. Well, fair play to Dogu again. Gets into those positions time and time again. Gets his head up first, but wasn't really going to trouble Donnarumma from there. Well, Donnarumma getting a clean sheet on his Manchester City debut. It's just the kind of start that he was looking for. A nice save on his badge too. That save of Brian Mbuemo's volley. Well, match week 4 will end with Liverpool on top of the table. 4 wins in 4 for the defending champions. Arsenal in second, 9 points with a +8 goal difference, just the 1 goal difference separating the two North London clubs. Spurs in third with 9 points, Bournemouth in fourth with 9 points too, and Chelsea in fifth with 8. City, with this victory, will take them into 8th position, avoiding 3 defeats on the trot here, as Manchester United will be in 14th. As it stands, oh, there's a chance there for Phil Foden, and Binder has to make the save. Binder somehow just shimmies across and gets their City are looking for the 4th here just before the full-time whistle. As it stands, Manchester United in 14th. Could get a whole lot worse for them with this corner. Will be the final action of the Manchester derby. Match week 4 coming to a conclusion here. City absolutely dominant. Phil Foden opened the scoring with that guided header after brilliant work by Jeremy Doku in the build-up. And then it was the Erling Haaland show in the second half as Manchester City take all 3 points. Clinical display by Pep Guardiola and his men. Erling Haaland with 2 goals in the second half could have very easily had more. But Manchester United have been roundly beaten at the hands of their City rivals. Back to the drawing board for Ruben Amorim in 14th position now after 4 games as Manchester City make their ascent here at the Premier League table. Phil Foden's goal and Erling Haaland's brace, the difference between the two teams. It's full time here at the Etihad Stadium. It's Manchester City 3,